the prayers?
Mataji, you go ahead.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your wonderful association. So anybody has any question to begin with?
Yes, Prabhu. So initially when you were preaching and you were with ISKCON and then you moved away, right? So how did you overcome that, will have that feeling of separation of association, right? With devotees, if there are not many devotees around, then will feel kind of painful without kirtan and stuff like that. How did you manage that, Prabhu?
Well, I had no problem. I was full-time devotee and we had all the kirtan and everything as usual. All these people who are coming from the Guru camp, they are part-timers, So if I lose them, I have no problem. I made them devotees. If they go, I can also make other devotees, no?
From day one when you set up, you had people coming into the kirtan and programs, Prabhu.
When I was alone, then I kind of build it up, no? So if the guys, they walk away, no problem, I make another batch, no? Understand?
So we have to struggle a little in the beginning.
Of course, if you are in charge, you kirtan, everything you do. So people come and then they surrender, then yes, then the team grows. But if they leave, then what you can do, correct? Doesn't mean that you also should leave, no? You carry on doing your service and Krishna sends some more sincere souls, no? So until I kind of build up the movement with everybody surrendering to Prabhupada, I had a lot of, what we say, changing of gods, They come and then they go because the Guru takes them away, So first batch was Hansaduta, then they all left. Second batch was Tamal, and again they all left. Then there was Gaur Govinda and Lokanath, they all left. I had to work hard building the yatra, and then these rascals come and then they mess it up. So, after we put Prabhupada in the center, I don't have that kind of problem anymore. Most of them just stayed, You understand? So this system of what we say, this Guru thing, it's a flop. It doesn't work, So, but when you put Prabhupada in the center, then yes, everybody fits in, Nobody leaves. Everybody surrender and carry on their service. And this way the yatra also grows, Of course, there will be some people who fall out and some people stay. That's because of their so-called offenses or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
It's not like again you have to build up a whole yatra completely from scratch, And that's tough, but it's a price to pay, for surrendering to Prabhupada.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. And
So
initially, yeah,
tell
go
me.
ahead. Initially, you would have had like a lot of confusions, right? Because of these things, you never felt confusion at all in your life.
No,
Wow.
I don't have any confusion about Prabhupada and the movement.
No,
I
no, no,
only
not about Prabhupada, about like how to do, what to do.
I had no confusion. I just surrendered to Prabhupada. And the moment I understood that Prabhupada is actually the guru for everybody, then it was very clear in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Before that, yeah, well, these guys all are trying to become gurus, and I could see this is nonsense, doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
On the managing side, it doesn't work because the guru is replacing Prabhupada.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And then when they fall down, that's another big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they all are fallen anyway. They don't have any potency.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So the moment we surrender to Prabhupada, yes, everything fits in. Just like now, you all are surrendering to Prabhupada and learning many things. Things are expanding, is it not?
Mm-hmm. Yes, true.
Hmm. So that's how it works. The moment you're properly connected, then spiritually, all the spiritual energy flows.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it is little tough, but you are convinced. You understand? You're not
Mm-hmm.
like throwing the towel and say, no, this is bogus, I don't want to do it. No, you don't feel anything like that.
No.
Yes.
Yes, true.
Hmm. So that is the, what we say, the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're right, you don't have to worry, no? Krishna in the heart, he gives you more and more inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're not connected, then yes, bewilderment, confusion, you are doubtful, so many things come.
Mm-hmm.
Because none of you have ever worked with a guru camp, that is another thing. But at least you have worked with other Ritviks who are not fully authorized, I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are not doing the core business is preaching,
Mm-hmm.
but they have dovetailed themselves to doing other things, like prasadam is the core business, and they want to actually become gurus, so many things are there. So when all these anarthas are there, then the mercy doesn't flow.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Hmm?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be very careful that
Mm-hmm.
how we follow the instruction of the spiritual master 100%, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, true. So now we are connected properly through ISKM, but still, if suppose if there is any problem, it is because of our anarthas, right, Prabhu?
Problems may be because, that Krishna is some or other delaying it for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Or Krishna is trying to mature us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's so many things, just like Prabhupada, when he came, nothing worked, at least for 1 year, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the idea. Krishna is in control. So we have to learn how to understand that Krishna is the controller.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we think that we are the controller, then of course nothing will work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you understand that Krishna and Prabhupada are the controllers, I'm just their servant, and I prayed for their directions, then that's another thing. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm. So just like Draupadi, she was trying to, they're trying to disrobe her, and she was holding on with a sari on her left hand, and she was crying for Govinda.
Mm.
And Krishna thought, okay, she can take care of herself.
Mm.
But the moment she fully surrendered and put both hands up, then he supplied her unlimited saris, you know.
Mhm.
So similarly, we should try to come to that kind of understanding that Krishna is the only one who can do that, no?
Mhm.
Then yes, you are a menial servant and let Krishna do everything,
Mhm.
because Krishna give you intelligence how to proceed.
Prabhu, the consciousness keeps fluctuating because of the people we associate with. So how do we make sure that we are always in the same consciousness?
You have to have strict sadhana. You wake up in the morning and do your morning program very strictly. Don't eat anything which is not prasadam. So if you maintain a very, what we say, rigid program, then yeah, you are safe, no?
Mm-hmm.
Your consciousness will carry you the whole day, you know. But if you are compromising and you eat especially food which is not prasadam, then, you know, then yeah, you know, things will go a little bit haywire. Hmm?
We,
Yes.
I make sure that I never eat non-prasadam, Prabhu. Even Mangalarti we do from the time we met with you. We have never stopped doing Mangalarti. We do every single day. And
Hmm.
recently, from couple of days, Prabhu, after Mangalarti, exactly after Mangalarti, one eagle sound comes, Prabhu.
Eagle.
Eagle sound. Yeah, after Tulsi Aarti, eagle
Hmm.
sound just screams for couple of times, and then after that we'll never hear the whole day.
Oh, really, huh? The eagle is coming to your program, huh?
So I am like totally surprised. From couple of days, I'm hearing exactly after Mangalarti.
Suspicious, you got some eagle, you know, coming. At least,
Since she is worried, is it good or bad?
well, you know, they are always there, all these animals, you know, when they come and chant, they are benefiting, they are hearing the holy name, no? Yes, correct.
Yes, Prabhu.
We don't get to see
So,
that, Prabhu, but only the sound comes.
yeah, maybe, you know, is acknowledging the holy name. Yeah? Yes.
Yes. Prabhu.
In South India, there's one temple where two eagles come and take prasadam every day, you know.
Mhm.
No more now. They have stopped coming. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time they were there also.
Mhm.
So, you know, they come to take prasadam. It's been coming for a long time. So that's the, I mean, if something like that, any living entity reciprocates, it's only benefit that living entity, no?
Mhm.
Correct?
Mhm.
Hmm. From the Garuda family, huh?
Hmm.
So please deliver all the Garudas. Huh? So are there different Shivas and you see in the spiritual world, what is the relation with the 11 Rudras? And are the Rudras in spiritual world or material world? There's no Rudras in the spiritual world.
Okay.
And this form of Shiva is only in the material world. Understand?
Hmm.
And just like Brahma, they are also Shivas. So when Lord Krishna called all the Brahmas, all the Shivas also came? Yes? You know
Hmm.
the part, right? Do you know?
Yes, Prabhu.
Millions, you know, all the Brahmas with millions of heads and Lord Shiva with, you know, Lord Shiva also came.
But it said the
Correct.
Sadashiva is in Kailasa, which is part of the spiritual realm, right?
Kailash is not the spiritual world, it's in between the material world and the spiritual world.
Uh,
You understand? Kailash is not in the spiritual world, it's in between, place of nothing, you know.
mhm.
Because it is not fully spiritual and is also not material. You follow?
Okay, Prabhu.
Lord Shiva is, you know, it's not a material person, you know.
Hmm.
Correct? Hmm?
So there will be one Lord Shiva in every universe, is it? Like Lord Brahma.
Yes. These are principal demigods, Brahma, Shiva, and of course Vishnu is an expansion. But Shiva and Brahma, they are always there, managing the material world. One is creating and the other one is destroying, no?
Mhm.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
And who are Rudras, Prabhu?
Rudras are all expansions of Lord Shiva. There are 11 of them, you know?
And where do they're all in the upper planetary system, or?
Yeah, they have their, you know, expansions and they are manifesting in different, just like, you know, you got Krishna's expansion as Narayana and so many, no?
Hmm.
So Lord Shiva has got about 11, no?
Mhm.
Hmm? The names are also there.
Yes, Prabhu.
But they are all in the material world only, no?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So all the names of the 11 Rudras also given in the CCs.
Yeah. Kapali, Pingal, Beam, Virupaksha, Vilohit, Shastra,
Yeah.
Ajapad, Ahir Buddhina, Shambhu, Chand, and Bhav.
Hmm. So the Rudras are just like you got 49 Maruts,
Hmm.
you got how many 12 Vasus, like that you got 11 Rudras, you know, all in the demigod category, you know.
Hmm.
So they probably assist Lord Shiva in destroying the world, you know.
Hmm.
And just like Durga, she has got many names as well, right?
Oh.
So the Rudras, I mean the Shiva Rudras also got different, correct?
Mhm.
Hmm?
So for each Rudra, there is a different Durga Devi's form who is a consort of that Lord Shiva.
Probably. You know, just like Brahma, you know, he also has a consort, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So all these are expansions managing the universe, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So Rudra is a very powerful personality, you know. He's not some ordinary person, you know. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he is also more interested in the devotees. One who's a devotee, then, you know, he is very much favoring the devotee. It's not even favoring his devotee, it's favoring the devotees of Krishna, you know. You understand? This whole thing on 324 chapter of the Bhagavatam. Huh? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Anybody else have any other questions?
I have a question. Prabhu, on the Brahma Samhita, all the planets, like Bhuloka, if you go up, all the Maharloka and everything is there. But people who does all the pious activities, they go to the upper planets. But he says, I don't know, what is this svarga loka? See, there are demigods and demons, Prabhu. 13 million demigods and demons. So why the demons on the upper planets, Prabhu?
Demons are not in the upper planet. Demons are all below the earth, you know.
Yeah, no, Prabhu. I was looking at the big map, Prabhu.
I don't know who draw the map, no?
Can I share my screen, Prabhu, and show?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Is this the one you're referring to, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's the one. If you go, yeah, right there. Yeah, 30. What is that, Prabhu? 33 million demigods and demons. You see that, Prabhu? Right there. Yeah.
This is wrong. There's only 330 million demigods. Understand? I never heard never heard 33 million demigods and demons. Who prepared this chart, you know?
Okay.
There's always 33 crore demigods. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
No such thing. This map is not very valid, you know, if you don't know this.
I see. Okay.
This is where I was referring that Kailasha was also in spiritual realm.
This Kailash is inside here, yeah. This Kailash is correct. Because in a place of nothing, you know. This explained in the Bhagavatam, you know, the CC, that those people who want to have neither the spiritual desire nor are they attracted to material, they are in the in-between, you know, so they go there. Understand? They're not fully accepted Krishna as God, no? So they go to this place called Brahma Jyoti, and before it is in a place of nothingness, you know. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this chart is to be reviewed, you know, not that it is 100% correct, huh? Yes?
Okay, Prabhu.
And there is something near the Goloka Vrindavana, if you explain. Can you explain, Prabhu? Yeah.
There's no,
Scroll down.
this Ayodhya Dham, this place is actually the expansion of Narayan, you know.
Oh, there is a background noise.
Yeah, I think it was from Arun. I muted.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
So, if you scroll down that screen below the lotus flower, here Sri Radha Ladini Ananda Kaya Vyuha Rupa. Can you explain this, Prabhu?
Where is it?
Here.
Ladini Sakti, I don't know what is this, Kaya Rupa, Radha's bodily expansion. I never heard that. Paramananda, Premananda, pure love for Krishna. I don't know where you got this stuff all in. Huh? I don't really, appreciate this chart,
Okay.
Understand? You
Yes.
see, it says here, Bhuloka, you are here. This is bogus, This is not in the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. You understand? And if you read the Bhagavatam, you see this lotus stem. All the planets are inside this lotus stem, not outside. You understand now?
Oh.
You understand? This is not correct. And then
Oh,
plus you can see here when it says here earth is not round. It is part of Jambu Deep, and the corner of this place here, and this whole place is sealed. That's why there's no sunlight coming from the sun planet going down to the lower planetary system. You understand?
I see.
This is all you can read the fifth canto. That's why the light is emitted from the snakes who carry big gems, stone.
Yes, Prabhu.
Understand? And for the sun light not to go here, this ends must be sealed. You understand? This must be sealed, correct? If this end is open, like there's some planet, then the sun's light can go downward. Huh? Correct? Correct?
Correct.
Common sense, That's why this whole chart is not very, I don't know, this guy who has drawn this. You get more confusion, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't think you should look at this chart. Go and read the Bhagavatam better.
Yes,
See,
Prabhu.
there's also Lord Siva here.
Prabhu, can you guide in Singapore one of the disabled to draw a diagram like this based on your knowledge?
No, I don't think we have the time for this. You just read the fifth canto, no?
Okay, Prabhu. Correct.
And you don't understand anything, just ask us. Because time to draw, we don't have any time, Prabhu.
Got it, Prabhu.
Maybe one of you can do. You can read the Bhagavatam and do.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
In fact, this whole thing has been difficult. They're supposed to do this thing and make a whole planetary system hanging from the, that temple of Vedic planetarium.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are not doing it. They just follow the Western whatever idea and trying to do that. It is not correct. That's why Prabhupada wanted the Vedic system, to explain that. But it's not so easy to explain that thing, You need some divine vision, Understand?
It's true.
Like now I'm pointing out all these mistakes, You have to really understand them thoroughly. Yes?
Something like this, right?
Yeah, see, the earth is somewhere in the corner here. Because it fell off to the Garbhodakaśāyī ocean, no? You understand? You go see the Jambu Deep, that's about Jambu Deep, Alaksha Deep. So many deeps are there, One part here, all surrounding this Mount Meru, no? So above, and here all the different demons, they stay below here, Understand? And then it's explained that they, just above the water, that is the Patal, the Pitru Loka. That's where Yamaraj also stays, Pitra Loka. And all this is inside the stem of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. They're not just floating around everywhere, no. It's not a fact.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So it's dangerous, to read something against the scripture, correct? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
No, you read something and you're drawing something else, then how is it possible? At least this one is a little bit more accurate. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
And on top of Mount Meru is where Lord Brahma's abode is there. It's like a lotus, and then above, and then also one portion there in the Shishumara, there's where Durva Loka is. That's where the planet of Lord Visnu is there. Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu in a milk ocean. Huh?
Okay.
So that's where the Lord is, Not everybody can go there. And when the universe all is going down, but that place will stay. And then when the next universe comes, it comes back again. It's all very inconceivable, how to understand everything. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
That's why Prabhupada at one point translating, he just put the Sanskrit, he said anyone want to translate, they can go ahead, no? You can see the fifth canto. Because it's very, very complex. And Prabhupada, when he was translating, he was praying to Krishna to help, no? Because it's very, very bewildering, You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you can understand, then please draw the map, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Correct?
Yes, Prabhu. Any other questions, Madhu Prabhu or anybody else?
Padma, do you have any questions?
I don't have any today. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for checking.
Baldev Prabhu, Nikhilesh Prabhu, Arun.
No, Prabhuji, I don't have any questions. Even I don't have anything, Prabhuji.
So therefore, we have to understand everything based on Shastra, and Guru. You understand?
Yes. Yes, Prabhu.
And if you don't follow that, then you'll be confused. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
That's why Prabhupada wanted very badly to get somebody to do this, And they were going around everywhere trying to find some kind of a scholar. It was practically impossible to find anybody who could explain. Do you understand? That's why he wanted to build this temple of Vedic planetarium to counter this speculation of the scientists. But to understand all the fifth canto, that requires a lot of realization, no? Yes.
Yes, true.
So better to understand that I am not the body and I have to chant Hare Krishna and love Krishna. It's very simplified. No?
Yes.
You follow? Even Brahma, he thought there's only one Brahma. Huh? And how many Brahmas came? Krishna brought everybody.
Millions of Brahmas.
Yes?
Yes,
Isn't
Prabhu.
it?
Yes, Prabhu.
He was very confused, this Brahma, correct? Are there only one Brahma or there are so many Brahmas? And Krishna just smiled and so many came, no? You understand? And they had much bigger heads than him. Our Brahma was the smallest. Only 4 heads. Yes or not? So you have to read, why if you read, then you'll understand how powerful Krishna is, no?
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
you can come out of this. I can get in.
Arun
Yes,
Prabhu, you
sir.
have some question?
How to?
You can click on share screen, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, I have a question though.
Yeah, one minute, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right. Let me just explain this before you come up. Huh? So here you can see, you can read.
Then the
Yeah.
asked which Brahma, Lord Brahma was surprised. He told the doorman, please go inform Lord Krishna that I am the four-headed Brahma who is the father of the four Kumaras. The doorman then informed Lord Krishna of Lord Brahma's description, and Lord Krishna gave him permission to enter. The doorman escorted Lord Brahma in, and as soon as Brahma saw Lord Krishna, he offered obeisances at his lotus feet. After being worshipped by Lord Brahma, Lord Krishna also honored him with suitable words. Then Lord Krishna asked him, why have you come here? Being questioned, immediately replied, later I shall tell you why I have come. First of all, there is a doubt in my mind which I wish you would kindly dissipate. Why did you inquire which Brahma had come to see you? What is the purpose of such an inquiry? Is there any other Brahma besides me within this universe? Upon hearing this, Sri Krishna smiled and immediately meditated. Unlimited Brahmas arrived instantly. Wow, unlimited Brahmas. These Brahmas had different numbers of heads. Some had 10 heads, some 20, some 1,000, some 10,000, some 100,000, some 10 million, and others 100 million. No one can count the number of faces they had. There also arrived many Lord Shivas with various heads, numbering 100,000 and 10 million. Many Indras also arrived, and they had hundreds of thousands of eyes all over their bodies. It is said that Indra, the king of heaven, is very lusty. Once he had sexual intercourse with the wife of a great sage, and when the sage learned about this, he cursed lusty Indra with a curse that put vaginas all over his body. Being very much ashamed, Indra fell down at the lotus feet of the great sage and begged his pardon. Being compassionate, the sage turned into ice. Therefore, Indra possesses hundreds and thousands of eyes all over the body. Just as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva have many faces, the king of heaven, Indra, has many eyes. When the four-headed Brahma of this universe saw all these opulences of Krishna, he became very much bewildered and considered himself a rabbit among many elephants. All the Brahmas who came to see Krishna offered their respects at his lotus feet, and when they did this, their helmets touched his lotus feet. No one can estimate the inconceivable potency of Krishna. All the Brahmas who were there were resting in the one body of Krishna. When all the helmets struck together at Krishna's lotus feet, there was a tumultuous sound. It appeared that the helmets themselves were offering prayers unto Krishna's lotus feet. With folded hands, all the Brahmas and Shivas began to offer prayers unto Lord Krishna, saying, O Lord, you have shown me a great favor. I have been able to see your lotus feet. All of them then said, It is my great fortune, Lord, that you have called me, thinking of me as your servant. Now let me know what your order is, so that I may carry it on my heads. Lord Krishna replied, Since I wanted to see all of you together, I have called all of you here. All of you should be happy. Is there any fear from the demons? They replied, By your mercy, we are victorious everywhere. Whatever burden was upon the earth, you have taken away by descending to that planet. This is the proof of Dwaraka's opulence. All the Brahmas thought Krishna is now staying in my jurisdiction. Thus, the opulence of Dwaraka was perceived by each and every one of them. Although they were all assembled together, no one could see anyone but himself. The four-headed Brahma perceived the opulence of Dwaraka Dhama, where Krishna was staying, and although there were Brahmas present having 10 to 10 million heads, and although many Lord Shivas were also assembled, only the four-headed Brahma of this universe could see all of them. By the inconceivable potency of Krishna, the others could not see one another. Although all the Brahmas and Shivas were assembled together due to Krishna's energy, they could not meet or talk among themselves individually. Lord Krishna then bade farewell to all the Brahmas there, and after offering their obeisances, they all returned to their respective homes. After observing all these opulences, the four-headed Brahma of this universe was astonished. He again came before the lotus feet of Krishna and offered him obeisances. Brahma then said, Whatever I formerly decided about my knowledge, I have just now had personally verified. There are people who say, I know everything about Krishna. Let them think in that way. As far as I am concerned, I do not wish to speak very much about this matter. O my Lord, let me say this much. As far as your opulences are concerned, they are all beyond the reach of mind, body, and words. Krishna,
Nikhilesh Prabhu, can you read?
Sure, Mother. Krishna said, Your particular universe has a diameter of 4 billion miles. Therefore, it is the smallest of all the universes. Consequently, you have only 4 heads. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura, one of the greatest astrologers of his time, gives information from Siddhanta Shiromani that this universe measures million
18,712 trillion.
12 billion into 8 miles. This is the circumference of this universe. According to some, this is only half the circumference. Some of the universes are 1 billion yojanas in diameter, some 1 trillion, some 10 trillion, and some 100 trillion yojanas. Thus, they are almost unlimited in area. A yojana equals 8 miles. According to the size of the universe, there are so many heads on the body of the Brahma. In this way, I maintain innumerable universes, Brahmandas. No one can measure the length and breadth of the 1/4 of my energy manifested in the material world. Who then can measure the 3/4 that is manifested in the spiritual world? Beyond the river Viraja is a spiritual nature which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is a supreme abode consisting of 3/4 of the Lord's opulences. It is known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. This is a verse from the. In this way, Lord Krishna bade farewell to the four-headed Brahma of this universe. We may thus understand that no one can calculate the extent of Krishna's energy.
So you understand now? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Huh? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. It's very inconceivable. The material world itself is just 1/4, and we cannot conceive that the spiritual world 3/4. So every time we read this, Prabhu, I will get bewildered.
So you can see Lord Brahma was bewildered. What to speak about you and me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Huh? So if you are not bewildered, then you are greater than Brahma. Hello?
Yeah.
Huh? You understand? Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So better to just chant Hare Krishna and follow what Prabhupada has taught us, no?
True, Prabhu. Yes.
So he has a question. What's his question?
Oh, Arun Prabhu has a question.
Yes.
Yeah,
Put his hand up. What's his question?
he mentioned in the chat, Prabhu. Prabhu mentioned.
It is said Lord Shiva is in direct touch of material nature and hence not in exact transcendental position as Lord Visnu. However, Lord Visnu is also in direct touch with material nature. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.5.
Let's go to the verse. So what's the question?
Arun Prabhu, what is the question in that particular?
Sorry, I was having some trouble unmuting my mic. So the question is that it is said that Lord Shiva is in touch with material nature. So looks like he has got material qualities. But according to the verse, Lord Vishnu is also in touch with material nature, right? So how is that he's aloof and he's not part of the material nature, but Lord Shiva is part of the material nature?
This form of the second manifestation Purusa is the source and indestructible seed of multiple incarnations of the universe. The particles and portions of this form, different entities like demigods, men, and others are created. The Purusha, after creating innumerable universes in the Mahatattva, entered each of them in the second Purusha, Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. And he saw that within the universe there were only darkness and space without a resting place. He filled half of the universe with water from his own perspiration and laid himself down on the same water. the what is called Garbhodaka. Then from his navel, the stem of the lotus flower sprouted. And on the flower petal, the birth of Brahma, or the master engineer of the universal plan, took place. Brahma became the engineer of the universe, and the Lord himself took charge of the maintenance of the universe as Vishnu. Brahma was generated from the Rajo-guṇa of prakṛti in the mode of passion, and Vishnu became the Lord of the mode of goodness. Vishnu being transcendental all the modes is always aloof from the materialistic affection. He is never touched, although he is here, he is not touched by Maya. This has already been explained. From Brahma, there is Rudra, Shiva, who is in charge of mode of ignorance or darkness. He destroyed the whole creation by the will of the Lord. Therefore, all three, namely Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are incarnation of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. From Brahma, the other demigods like Daksha, Marichi, Manu, and others, many others became incarnated to generate living entities within the universe. Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu is glorified in the Vedas in the hymns of Garbhosuti. Began with the description of the Lord as having thousands of heads, etc. The Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu is the Lord of the universe, and although he appears to be lying within the universe, is always transcendental. So Krishna is always above the modes of material nature. This is also has already been explained. The Vishnu is the planetary portion of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu is the super soul of the universal life, and is known as the maintainer of the universe, or Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. So the three features of original Purusas are thus understood, and all the incarnation within the universe are emanation from this Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. In different millennia, there are different incarnations, and they are innumerable, although some of them are prominent, such as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Rama, Nrsimha, Vamana, and many others. These incarnations are called Lila incarnation, and they are qualitative incarnations such as Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, or Rudra, take charge of different modes of material nature. Lord Vishnu is non-different from the personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva is in the marginal position between the personality of Godhead and living entities, or Jivas. Brahma is always Jiva Tattva, the highest pious living being, or the greatest devotee of the Lord. Empowered with the potency of the Lord for creation, and is called Brahma. His power is like the power of the sun, reflected in valuable stones and jewels. When there is no such living entity to take charge of the post of Brahma, the Lord himself becomes Brahma and takes charge of the post. Lord Shiva is not an ordinary living being, is planetary portion of the Lord, but because Lord Shiva is in touch with material nature, is not exactly in the same transcendental position of Lord Vishnu. Is that clear? The difference is like between milk and yogurt. Yogurt is nothing but milk, but yet it cannot be used in place of milk. The next incarnation are the Manus within 1 day of duration of life of Brahma, which is calculated by solar years. They are 4.3 million times 1,000 years, and there are 14 Manus. So anyway, this point is very clear. The Lord Shiva, although he is an expansion of the Lord, but he is in touch with Maya, so therefore he gets contaminated.
But Prabhu, it says that what I would like to, what I'm confused about is that it says that Lord Shiva is in touch with the material nature.
Yeah.
But in Lord Vishnu also for this universe is also in touch.
Although his Lord Vishnu is always also in touch, but is not, Maya cannot touch him, He's beyond Maya. Understand? Maya is got nothing, no jurisdiction. She cannot come in front of the Lord. Krishna is like sun, and Maya is darkness. Wherever there is sun, there cannot be any darkness. Yes?
Is it because Vishnu is directly Lord Krishna?
Yeah, it's non-different, no?
So is Vishnu is an expansion of Lord Krishna, correct? So is Lord Shiva an expansion of
Yeah,
Krishna?
although he's an expansion, but he is not exactly Krishna. You understand? He's not the same. You understand this verse? Huh? Yes. Krishna cannot, Maya cannot, Maya does not come in front of him. You follow?
Okay, Prabhu. So even though his so how do we, like, if when he expands as different forms to administer the world and help devotees, so is it okay to understand that only Lord Vishnu's form has no jurisdiction, Maya has no control or no jurisdiction on Lord Vishnu's form, but every other form he expands into. He allows
Yes.
Maya to contaminate that form, or he become less than transcendental?
Yes, because Maya, Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of ignorance, and Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of passion. So they are implicated. Whereas Vishnu, although in charge of goodness, is beyond that. Just now we read. So the modes of material nature, they have no jurisdiction on the Lord. But the Lord has full control of the three modes of material nature. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Mayaktena pakirti susajate characharanam etunena kauntaya jagad viparivartate. Maya is under the full control of the Lord. And in this way, she is managing all the moving and non-moving living entities, you know.
Okay, Prabhu.
You understand?
So is it, can we understand, like, Lord Shiva's purpose is because he has to do annihilation and destruction. He has to be touched.
Lord Shiva has to control Maya, you know. That's why he is implicated. Understand?
Ah.
Krishna cannot go to Maya because the moment Krishna goes, the Maya is finished. So he uses an in-between person as Lord Shiva to handle Maya. You understand? Hello?
And similarly, Lord Brahma also has to do get affected by mode of passion.
Correct. You understand that? Hmm?
Prabhu, the only last remaining confusion there is if Lord is expanding as these incarnations, even Lord Shiva, he lets himself to be affected by Maya. It is because he's willfully letting himself to be affected by Maya in the expansion of Lord Shiva, correct? Is that a okay understanding, correct understanding? Because even Lord is destroying, you know, he's also killing people, he's also destroying world, even though everything he does is transcendental. He never gets affected by Maya. But when it comes to Lord Shiva's part, who's also one of the trinities of Lord Visnu, looks like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma get affected. But Lord Shiva somehow stays aloof, even though he's in touch with material world, material nature.
That's why when Maya is full on, he does not associate her, he associates with her at a distance. You know?
Okay.
Because when she is full on, then he keeps himself, you know, little far away. Understand? No?
Okay, Prabhu.
Because Maya is very, you know, strong, no? You follow?
Prabhu, in the same verse, if I may ask you another question. Prabhu, in here it says that that the three features of Purusha are Kāraṇodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, and Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. So they are called the three features of Purusha in this verse. But then who's referred to as Adi Purusa or Purusha then?
Adi Purusa is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, no?
Okay.
You understand? The original Purusha is Krishna, no? That's why Lord Brahma is praying, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So many times he's saying, no?
Right. Then who's Purusha, Prabhu?
Huh?
Who would be Purusha then? If Adi Purusha is Govinda, who's Purusha then?
The Purusha is Krishna, original personality, male, enjoyer. Purusha means the enjoyer, no?
Okay, so when they say three features, when it's written three features of Purusha, that means Purusha here is synonymous to Adi Purusha.
No, the other Purushas are different. They are in charge of Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, and Kāraṇodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. They are the manifestation of the material manifestation, no? So you first you got Kāraṇodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, then you have Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, and then as the super soul you have Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu. So these are the three Purushas. But the original person is Krishna. That's why Lord Brahma says, Govindam Adi Purusha, the original. You follow?
Prabhu, but the verse says the features of Purusha are these three personalities, Kāraṇodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, and Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu.
Yeah.
So they're also known as Purushas.
Of course, the expansions of the Lord, no?
Okay. Now it makes okay.
You see this verse, you get it more clear. You have to, anyone who understands this, you can read.
For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes three Vishnus. The first one, Mahavishnu, creates the total material energy known as the Mahatattva. The second, Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, enters into all the universes to create diversities in each of them. The third, Kṣīrodakaśāyī Viṣṇu, is diffused as the all-pervading super soul in all the universes and is known as Paramatma. He is present even within the atoms. Anyone who knows these three Vishnu can be liberated from material entanglement.
So you understand?
Yes, Prabhu. So these
These
three
are called Purusha Kyani. See the word here?
okay,
Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu.
Clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, one last question, Prabhu. In the same verse, it is said that Brahma was generated from Rajo-guṇa of prakṛti. So the question is, does nature, prakṛti, exist before Brahma's birth? And when are the modes of nature created in the universe?
The moment the universe is created, the material manifestation, the Mahatattva, so in the Mahatattva, all these ingredients are there. Then the modes of material nature start working,
Okay, Prabhu.
You understand?
I think the same paragraph that you just read, right, on the screen.
Yeah.
It says that.
So first you have the pradhana state, unmanifested. Then Lord Vishnu, he glance. Then the Mahatattva start working, So that is the egg of the whole universe. And then Garbhodakaśāyī Viṣṇu goes inside, He creates all the Lord Brahma and everybody. So you can read in the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam that how the creation takes place. First, the three modes of material nature come in, and then in the mode of ignorance, the false ego manifests, and then from false ego, one thing all comes. No, I can show you the verse.
But Prabhu, if Brahma is created from Rajo-guṇa, how is he actually the controller of Rajo-guṇa, the master of Rajo-guṇa?
Because although he's coming from the Rajo-guṇa, because creation is mode of passion, no? You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So because he's in charge of the mode of passion, so he's making all the other ingredients. So in order not to get contaminated, he's praying for shelter for Krishna. And Krishna says, as long as you remember me as the supreme controller, you will not be affected.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Understand? I can show you all these verses. Give me a time. Give me a minute. I'll just get this verse out. There is a whole prayer by Lord Brahma, no? We can read this. So we can go and read it.
So can we understand, like, along with the creation of Brahma, material energy also is already existing at that moment?
Material energy has to come first, no? Unless there's a place, how can Brahma sit down?
That means the three modes are already there when Brahma, before
Yeah,
Brahma.
of course. The three modes of material nature. Brahma comes later, no?
So that was, I
Understand?
think, what Arun Prabhu asked.
You have to read, no? If you read, then you will know, no? Yes?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Ah. Can you read this?
Sri Sukadev Goswami said, O king, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body. That relationship is just like a dreamer seeing his own body working. The illusioned living entity appears in so many forms offered by the external energy of the Lord. While enjoying in the modes of material nature, the encased living entity misconceives, thinking in terms of I and mine. O king, the personality of Godhead, being very much pleased with Lord Brahma because of his non-deceptive penance in Bhakti Yoga, presented his eternal and transcendental form before Brahma. And that is the objective goal for purifying the conditioned soul.
So after Brahma did all his tapasya, then the Lord appeared before him, you know.
Okay, Prabhu.
So here, Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master, supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seed. And while thinking of creating a material world, he could not understand the proper direction of such creative work, nor could he find out the process of such creation. He's lost. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Brahma doesn't know how to do. So then the Lord is empowering him, understand? While thus engaged in thinking, Brahma heard twice from nearby in the water two syllables joined together. One of the syllables was 16 and the other was 21st. This is the word tapa, you know, tapasya, you know. So in other words, the Lord told him to do tapasya, you know. Of course, the Lord don't need to do tapasya, but you know, conditioned soul like us, all we have to do tapasya. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
So when he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides, but when he was unable to find anyone beside himself, he thought it wise to sit down on the lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance as he was instructed. You follow? So the Lord is trying to purify him. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
So then when Brahma does the tapasya for hundreds and hundreds of his time, Lord Brahma underwent penance for 1,000 years by the calculation of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky and he accepted it as divine. Thus he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed were great lessons for the living entity. Thus he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. So Brahma went and did tapasya. Nobody could do like that, you know. Then the personality of Godhead, being thus very much satisfied with the penance of Lord Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode, Vaikuntha, the supreme planet above all others. The transcendental abode of the Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, free from all kinds of misery and fear of illusory existence. So the Lord showed Brahma, you know, the spiritual world. In that personal abode, the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail. You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance or influence of time, so what to speak of the illusory external energy? They cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigod and demon worship the Lord as devotees. So in this place, of course, this is Vaikuntha, everybody is friendly, there's no enmity. But here you can see the distinct point, there's no modes of material nature there. In other words, the modes of material nature cannot be present where the Lord is, you see. You follow? That's why we chant Hare Krishna. The moment we chant Hare Krishna, we transcend the three modes of material nature because we are inviting the Lord, You follow?
Yes, but Prabhu, in that verse it says demons also, both demigods and
yeah,
demons
those who
worship
are
the Lord.
killed, they all get liberated, they go to the Vaikuntha planet. You follow?
Okay, but that then they are
Just
not
like in Kurukshetra, all the people who died, they all went to the spiritual world, no?
okay.
Understand? So those demons and devotees, they all come to the original position as spirit souls, no? Serving the Lord.
Okay,
Huh?
Prabhu.
You follow? In that is the Vaikuntha planet are described as having a glowing sky. This is all he saw. Brahma saw this,
Okay, Prabhu.
Some of them, all the different bodies they had, Brahma was looking. He couldn't even see the Lord when he was on the lotus seat. And now the Lord is revealing everything to him. Okay, see how the Vaikuntha planet is, he could see. So he become realized,
Yes, Prabhu.
These verses all you can read now, when you go, you take note. I'm going to the point here. The Brahma started to pray to the Lord, So here, Lord Brahma, thus seeing the personality of God in his fullness, was overwhelmed with joy within his heart. His eyes filled with tears of love and full transcendental love and ecstasy. He bowed down before the Lord. This is the way of highest perfection for the living Paramahamsa. So he is bowing down to the Lord now. He's surrendering, So while he surrendered, after seeing Brahma present before him, the Lord accepted him as worthy to create living beings. So the Lord, he passed the test, you understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So to be controlled as he desired, and thus be much satisfied with him, the Lord shook hands with Brahma and slightly smiling addressed him thus. So he passed the test, you understand?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes,
You
Prabhu.
follow? So then the Lord will empower him. If he failed the test, you think the Lord will empower him?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
You follow? So the Lord shook hands with him. The beautiful personality of Godhead addressed Lord Brahma, O Brahma, impregnated Vedas, I am very much pleased with your long accumulated penance with the desire for creation. Hardly am I pleased with the pseudo-mystics. So all these crazy guys who do all these crazy things, the Lord is not happy with them, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
I wish you good luck, O Brahma. You may ask from me, the giver all benediction, all that you may desire. You may know that the ultimate benediction is the result of all penance to see my realization. So the ultimate of tapasya is to get the audience of the Lord. Understand? So he saw, now he saw. Then you see what Brahma is saying. So the Lord ordered him to go and do tapasya from the heart,
Yes, Prabhu.
So the Lord is speaking about the power of penance. Tapasya is very important, is it?
Yes, Prabhu.
And Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme direct, and therefore you are aware of all the endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. See, the Lord, He is the Lord. He is beyond all these things, He is beyond. He is inconceivable. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you are no such form at all. See how you come down the material world and you take the form. You understand? Although you have not implicated. You follow?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
please inform me by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, creation, acceptance, maintenance. Even all these things is done by the power of the Lord. You understand? Although he just have his agent like Shiva and Brahma, but actually it is done by him. So Master of all energies, please tell me philosophically all about them. You play like a spider that covers his own energy and your determination is infallible. So everything is done by the Lord, no?
Mhm.
Understand? So Brahma is asking, see here, please tell me so that I may be taught in the matter of the instruction of the personality of Godhead and may thus act instrumentally to generate living entities without being conditioned by such activity. You saw that point here?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Ah, he's trying to pray that please help me. I don't want to be in Maya. You understand?
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
have shaken hands with me just like a friend does with a friend, as if equal position. I shall be engaged in creation of different types of living entity, and I shall be occupied in your service. I shall have no perturbation, but I pray that all this may not give rise to pride, as if I was the supreme.
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand now?
Yes, Prabhu. I do. Yes, Prabhu.
You understand? There's nothing they can do without the mercy of the Lord. No, that is what the Lord wants. Just like us, we are trying to enjoy the senses, but the moment we realize that nothing is going to work without the mercy of the Lord, then we come to the original position. You follow? As servant of God. Then we are not touched by Maya. We also are not touched by Maya. As long as we are following the instruction of Guru and Krishna. You understand that point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then the Lord said, knowledge about me is described in the scriptures very confidential and it is realized in conjunction with devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process has been explained by me. You may take it up carefully. Of course, then after that, he goes to that four important words called Chaptir Sloki, You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
That is very important four verses of the Bhagavatam, We'll go through that very quickly. See, all of me, namely my actual eternal form, my transcendental existence, color, qualities, and activity, let all be awakened within you by factual realization. Out of my causeless mercy, you follow this point? You understand? The Lord is empowering him. You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's not that he could do anything. He can't do nothing. Only the Lord will help him. And these are important verses. Brahma, it is I, the personality of God. It was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself. Now was there the material energy, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of God. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. This is a very important verse. Aham eva sameva agren anyad yat sad asat param paschad aham e tatcha yo vashisheta sosmi aham. These four verses are very, very important. So you need to read this whole thing and you want to have a clear understanding. You can read this whole chapter. See, in other words, the Lord, oh Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is in relation with me, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection appears to be in darkness. Even Maya is part of Krishna, you understand? It is his energy. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
Maya is not separate, it is Krishna's external energy. He has got three energy: spiritual energy, material energy, and the marginal energy. Spiritual energy is, of course, the Lord, it's called Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and one more. What is that? Three energies, part of the Tatasya Shakti. So there are three energies, You follow?
Yes, Prabhu, I do.
So these things are all to be understood in proper perspective. Otherwise, you'll be confused, no? How why Brahma gets, into Maya and why the others don't get to Maya, Because this Maya is created by the Lord anyway. And now if he's the creator of this Maya, how can the Maya touch him? Does it make any sense? Oh Brahma, please know that the universe elements enter into the cosmos at the same time they do not enter the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created at the same time, outside of everything. You see this? Maya cannot touch him, no. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
Brahma is inside the Maya. That's why he's praying, please help me. I don't want to get, a person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this, in all circumstances, in all space, time, and both directly and indirectly. In other words, you have to come to Krishna consciousness. That is the whole idea.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
No, I want to show you one last verse before I wrap up on this point. The purport is all very long in these 4 verses. Prabhupada writes so many verses he's quoting, Oh Brahma, just follow this conclusion by fixed concentration of mind, and no pride will disturb you, either in partial nor in the final devastation. In other words, if you fix your mind on Krishna, then no Maya will touch you. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
But Maya is actually Krishna's energy. No, Krishna will employ that Maya on anybody, but he can't employ on himself, right? Does it make sense? Sukadeva Goswami said to Parit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, after being seen in a transformed form, instructed Brahmaji, the leader of the living, and disappeared. So you see how the Lord is the controller. You follow? Even Lord Shiva, correct? You wanted to see the Mohini form, right? Hello? You know the story?
Yes, Prabhu.
You don't know. Do you know? Huh? Huh? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know fully.
You don't know, huh? So we'll go and read that story. How the Lord takes the form of this Mohini form. And the Lord Shiva says, he said to Lord Shiva, you will be disturbed, you watch this form. No, I am controlling Maya, nothing can hurt me. And he himself fell down, Lord Shiva. Yes? Huh? Yes or not?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Then Lord Shiva tells Parvati, now, you asked me the question who I was meditating on. All right. Now we'll go here and see this story you can read. You want to read this?
Shukadeva Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, in the form of a woman, captivated the demons and enabled the demigods to drink the nectar. After hearing of these pastimes, Lord Shiva, who is carried by a bull, went to the place where Madhusudana, the Lord, resides. Accompanied by his wife Uma and surrounded by his companions, the ghost Lord Shiva went there to see the Lord's form as a woman.
So Lord Shiva wanted to see this Mohini avatar.
The Supreme
Read on.
Personality of Godhead. The
Yeah.
Supreme Personality of Godhead welcomed Lord Shiva and Uma with great respect, and after being seated comfortably, Lord Shiva duly worshipped the Lord and smilingly spoke as follows. Lord Mahadeva said, O chief demigod among the demigods, O all-pervading Lord, Master of the universe, by your energy you are transformed into the creation. You are the root and efficient cause of everything. You are not material. Indeed, you are the super soul or supreme living force of everything. Therefore, you are Parameshvara, the supreme controller of all controllers. The supreme personality of Godhead, Vishnu, resides within.
No, I don't want you to read the purport. No time.
The manifest, the unmanifest, all three from the beginning, maintenance, and annihilation of this cosmic manifestation all come from you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because you are the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Absolute Spirit Soul, the Supreme Brahman, such changes as birth, death, and sustenance do not exist in you. Pure devotees are great saintly persons who desire to achieve the highest good in life and who are completely free from all material desires for sense gratification and engage constantly in transcendental service of pure lotus feet. My Lord, you are the supreme Brahman, complete in everything. Being completely spiritual, you are eternal, free from the material modes of nature, and full of transcendental bliss. Indeed, for you there is no question of lamentation. Since you are the supreme cause, the cause of all causes, nothing can exist without you. Yet we are different from you in a relationship of cause and effect, for in one sense the cause and effect are different. You are the original cause of creation, manifestation, and annihilation, and you bestow benedictions upon all living entities. Everyone depends upon you for the results of his activities, but you are always independent.
Okay, can you read?
My Lord, I have seen all kinds of incarnations you have exhibited by your transcendental qualities, and now that you have appeared as a beautiful young woman, I wish to see that form of your lordship.
So then the Lord, spoke.
My Lord, we have come here desiring to see that form of your lordship which you showed to the demons to captivate them completely and in this way enable the demigods to drink nectar. I am very eager to see that form. Sukadeva Goswami said, when Lord Vishnu was thus requested by Lord Shiva, who carries a trident in his hand, he smiled with gravity and replied to Lord Shiva as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, when the demons took away the jug of nectar, I assumed the form of a beautiful woman to bewilder them by directly cheating them and thus to act in the interest of the demigods. O best of the
Nikhilesh Prabhu,
demigods.
Nikhilesh Prabhu, can you read?
Sure.
Nikhilesh Prabhu already finished.
I
Padma,
did, yeah.
I think Padma has one. Padma, can you read? Shobha, can you read?
O best of the demigods, I shall now show you my form that is very much appreciated by those who are lusty. Since you want to see that form, I shall reveal it in your presence. Sukadeva Goswami continued, after speaking in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, immediately disappeared, and Lord Shiva remained there with Uma looking for him all around with moving eyes. Thereafter, in a nice forest nearby, full of trees with reddish pink leaves and varieties of flowers, Lord Shiva saw a beautiful woman playing with a ball. Her lips were covered with a shining sari and ornamented with a belt. Because the ball was falling down and bouncing up, as she played with it, her breast trembled, and because of the weight of those breasts and her heavy flower garlands, her waist appeared to be all but breaking at every step at her two soft feet, which were reddish like coral, moved here and there. The woman's face was decorated by broad, beautiful, restless eyes, which moved as the ball bounced here and there from her hand. The two brilliant earrings on her ears decorated her shining cheeks like bluish reflections, and the hair scattered on her face made her even more beautiful to see. As she played with the ball, the sari covering her body became loose and her hair scattered. She tried to bind her hair with her beautiful left hand, and at the same time, she played with the ball by striking it with her right hand. This was so attractive that the Supreme Lord, by his internal potency, in this way captivated everyone. While Lord Shiva observed the beautiful woman playing with the ball, she sometimes glanced at him and slightly smiled in bashfulness. As he looked at the beautiful woman and she watched him, he forgot both himself and Uma, his most beautiful wife, as well as his associates nearby. When the ball leaped from her hand and fell at a distance, the woman began to follow it. But as Lord Shiva observed these activities, a breeze suddenly blew away the fine dress and belt that covered her. Thus Lord Shiva saw the woman, every part of whose body was beautifully formed, and the beautiful woman also looked at him. Therefore, thinking that she was attracted to him, Lord Shiva became very much attracted to her. Lord Shiva, his good sense taken away by the woman because of lusty desires to enjoy with her, became so mad for her that even in the presence of Bhavani, he did not hesitate to approach her.
So you see here what happened to Lord Shiva.
The beautiful woman was already naked, and when she saw Lord Shiva coming towards her, she became extremely bashful. Thus, she kept smiling, but she hid herself among the trees and did not stand in one place. His senses being agitated, Lord Shiva, victimized by lusty desires, began to follow her just as a lusty elephant follows a she-elephant. After following her with great speed, Lord Shiva caught her by the braid of her hair and dragged her near him. Although she was unwilling, he embraced her with his arms. Being embraced by Lord Shiva, like a female elephant embraced by a male, the woman whose hair was scattered swirled like a snake. O king, this woman who has large, high hips was a woman of Yoga Maya presented by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She released herself somehow or other from the fond embrace of Lord Shiva's arms and ran away. As if harassed by an enemy in the form of lusty desires, Lord Shiva followed the path of Lord Visnu, who acts very wonderfully and who has taken the form of Mohini.
Shivram Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, bro. Screen. Just as maiden bull elephant follows a female elephant who is able to conceive pregnancy, Lord Shiva followed the beautiful woman and discharged his semen, even though his discharge of semen never goes in vain. O king, wheresoever on the surface of the globe fell the semen of the great personality of Lord Shiva, mines of gold and silver later appeared. Following Mohini, Lord Shiva went everywhere, near the shores of the rivers and lakes, near the mountains, near the forest, near the gardens, and wherever there lived great sages. O Maharaja Parikshit, best of kings, when Lord Shiva had fully discharged his semen, he could see how he himself had been victimized by the illusion created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, he restrained himself from any further Maya.
So you can see from here how Lord Shiva, he practically fell down, correct? Hello?
Yes, bro.
Huh? See how Lord Shiva is bewildered by Maya? But you never hear a story where Lord Krishna becomes victimized. Is there such a story?
No.
Hello?
No.
Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they all can get victimized by Maya, but Krishna is not,
Hmm.
You understand here? Hello? Read on.
Thus, Lord Shiva could understand his position and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has unlimited potencies. Having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Lord Vishnu had acted upon him.
So you see, he could understand his position and the position of the Lord. You follow?
Seeing Lord Shiva unagitated and unashamed, Lord Vishnu Madhusudana was very pleased. Thus he resumed his original form and spoke as follows. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O best of the demigods, although you have been amply harassed because of my potency in assuming the form of a woman, you are established in your position. Therefore, may all good fortune be upon you.
So here the Lord is trying to kind of pacify him.
Yes. My Lord Shambhu, who within this material world, but you can surpass my illusory energy. People are generally attached to sense enjoyment and conquered by its influence. Indeed, the influence of material nature is very difficult for them to surmount.
Nobody can overcome Krishna's Maya.
The material external energy, Maya, who cooperates with me in creation and who is manifested in the three modes of nature, will not be able to bewilder you any longer.
So the Lord gave him his benediction. Then of course the Lord, then Shiva returns to his abode. But you can see here, he says this important verse.
Oh,
You see here, it says,
Lord Shiva said, O goddess, you have now seen the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the unborn master of everyone. Although I am one of the principal expansion of his lordship. Even I was illusioned by his energy. What then is to be said of others who are fully dependent on Maya?
you see here how Lord Shiva is illusion, Lord Brahma is illusion, Lord Shiva is illusion. Yes?
Yes,
Is that Arun, is it? You understand? Hello?
yes, bro.
He's not speaking, huh?
I'm speaking, Prabhu, but I'm driving probably. That's why.
You're driving, huh?
Sorry, Prabhu. I'm actually driving, so I'm hearing out. I heard everything you said, but I understand what you said too.
When I finished performing mystic yoga for 1000 years, you asked me upon whom I was meditating. Now, here is that Supreme Person to whom time has no entrance and whose the Vedas cannot understand. So you see how Lord Shiva is telling? He's always meditating on Krishna, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you understand this pastime, how Maya, Krishna's Maya can bewilder anyone, yes? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, any other questions?
Prabhu, thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhu.
Except Maya cannot touch the Lord, no? Maya is always behind the Lord, no? Never in front.
Thus he fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without any tinge of materialism. Thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead, along with his external energy, which was under full control.
Yes. This is the vision of Vyasadeva. He saw the Supreme Lord and he also saw his Maya. You know? You follow? And this Maya is the one that is bewildering everybody.
Yes, please.
That is what happens when the living entity is in touch with Maya.
Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material energies.
You follow? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Kirtida Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is the divinity of the personality of a Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of the material nature, even though he is in the contact with them. Similarly, the devotee who have taken the shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities.
So that
Yes.
So the Lord cannot be affected by Maya. So those who take shelter of him also are free from Maya. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
If he is also in Maya, then what's the use of worshipping him? Correct?
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
that's why I worship Maya, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense, you know. So we must understand this, you know. Maya is created by the Lord to put conditioned souls into, you know, miseries because they want to enjoy separately from the Lord. Yes?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, so we can understand this, then everything is perfect. Understand?
The transcendental personality of a Godhead is indirectly associated with the three modes of the material nature, namely passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts the three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all the human beings can derive ultimate benefit from Vishnu, the form of the quality of a goodness.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So any more questions? That's why it says that to learn how to, you want to go above the modes, you must worship the Lord. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
This verse, one who engage in unalloyed devotional service to the Lord transcend the modes of material nature and immediately elevate the spiritual platform. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Bhagavad Gita, correct?
Mhm.
Yes? Eh?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
You want to go above Krishna's Maya, then there's no other way than to surrender to him. Bhagavad Gita, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Devi, here is Gunamai, Mama Maya Turatyaya. Mam eva e prapadyante, Mayam etan tarantite. This divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Yes?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
You understand this point? So you want to come out of this Maya, the only way is to take shelter of?
Krishna.
Yes. If you don't take shelter of Krishna, then it's not possible.
No one is dear to Supreme Personality of a Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or a friend, but he gives the inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have.
So how he destroys? He destroys by his Maya. Yes?
Mhm.
It's two Maya, Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. So which Maya you want to go?
Yogamaya.
So moment you take to Krishna consciousness, then you are free from all this Maya. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You understand?
Yes.
Any further questions? Isn't it?
No, Prabhu.
Hmm? Correct.
Yes, Prabhu.
So those who don't accept Krishna, then Krishna, you cannot overcome his Maya. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
How to overcome Krishna's Maya? By not accepting his authority. Yes?
Yes.
Very good. So any other questions? I hope you understood this whole class. No? very long class actually, yeah. 8:30 to 9:30 to 10:30, 2 hours, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so sorry to make you.
No problem. Yeah.
No problem. It's our pleasure.
For your association, Guruji. Thank you for your association and your time.
My time is still early. You are all of the ones going to go to bed now, you know. Tomorrow you gotta.
Yes.
So everybody's getting ready to celebrate Gaura Purnima.
Yes, true. Prabhu, how do we celebrate, Prabhu?
What we do, because we are fasting the whole day, and then we have the program in the evening. We have Abhishek, and after Abhishek, we have a short talk, and then we have prasadam, breakfast. Ekadasi prasadam, no?
Yes, true.
Breakfast after moonrise, Prabhu, or sunset?
Usually after moonrise, anytime you can breakfast because you have a program, no? Correct? Are you having a program? No?
It's on weekday, Prabhu, so we'll do it at home.
Oh,
Prabhu, it's in the so we break with ekadasi prasadam, right, Prabhu?
Yes.
Okay.
No grains, huh?
No quinoa also.
I don't think it's very difficult, right?
No, Prabhu.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not.
it is.
Huh? You are
Now we
not.
are used to
You are
it.
not faint and die, no?
No.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm doing this every day.
Prabhu, without grains, how are you able to sustain, Prabhu, every day?
How? I'm actually taking protein, you know.
Oh.
Protein means I take like mung dal or something because diabetic. I don't take this carbohydrate, you know. So that way I'm not implicated. Starch is the one that makes your sugar go up, no? So I try to avoid that, you see. Just practice, you know. You practice, anything can be done. So you try, you take only, tomorrow, what are you going to eat? Potatoes, huh?
Yes.
Vegetables, potato.
Potato, vegetables, huh? You can make
Spinach soup we can take, right? Prabhu?
peanuts, yeah. Usually they make potato chips, no? Chutney.
Yeah. A lot of items, Prabhu. Last Sunday we made for 150 people ekadashi prasadam.
Why?
It's
Oh,
really
Sunday.
awesome, Prabhu. Baldev Prabhu, all glories to you and all glories to
Sunday is
ISKM.
not ekadasi. Why you have ekadasi? We have. You are ekadasi on Sunday, huh?
Sunday,
Ours
yeah,
is
we
on
have.
Monday.
For us, it was Sunday.
Ours is on Monday.
But it was a big challenge, like breaking my head. Sabudana we can't use. It's a grain here. So
Sabudana is contaminated. You know.
Oh, sabudana also should not be used, Prabhu.
It's contaminated.
Sabudana, they're frying in corn oil, Prabhu. Otherwise, it will not be white. It shouldn't be white. Nylon sabudana can be used. If you see a white sabudana, it is fried in corn oil.
No, you can buy the tapioca raw and you can cook that, no? Yes?
Sweet
you
potato.
have, cassava, you call it, no? What is that? You can buy that in the shops, no? Raw tapioca. You can cut and you can cook in so many ways.
Okay.
You can grind it down. You can get into making dosas also with it, you know? So many things you can do with that, no? Tapioca. That can be taken on ekadasi day.
Yes, Prabhu.
I'm sure you have so many things to eat, you know, and then also in the evening, what do you want to eat? The whole mountain or something? Huh? Next day you can eat everything, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
When is Gaura Purnima in your place? Is it the same, 18, Friday?
17th, Prabhu.
Yours is 17.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, wow. Ours is on Friday.
Yes, Prabhu.
How come, different time zones? Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
I thought America is more further away. How come they are ahead? Very
Sometimes the
timing.
festivals in the East Coast and West Coast differ, Prabhu, by a day.
Yeah?
Ekadasi and some festivals.
Yeah, sometimes, yes.
Sometimes, rarely it happens in a year, twice or thrice.
So, Prabhuji, I have a question about vegetables on Ekadasi. Like even spinach can be used, and what vegetable we cannot use?
I don't know. If you go to Gaura, you can't use anything.
No beans and peas.
No, they don't. Just use potatoes. That's all. No. They
Yeah,
won't use.
that's what I use, potato and loki.
Yeah.
But I haven't used any other vegetable. So I was just wondering, we can use all other vegetable?
I mean, our ISKCON, we use everything, no? Except the grains, no? You don't use the eggplant, I think, because of the seed or something. Huh?
Brinjals.
Brinjal we don't use. Otherwise, we use everything.
Yeah, and even okra, bindi also.
Yeah, we use all of them, but Gaura, they don't.
Oh, okra can be used on Ekadashi?
Yeah,
No, Mataji.
No,
Yes, Prabhu?
why not? No okra, is it? You don't use okra?
No, Prabhu. I think Vishnu Priya Mataji shared the kitchen rules, ISKM kitchen rules.
Maybe they don't cook on Kāraṇodakaśāyī day. Anyway, I don't know because I'm fasting without water also, no?
Oh, can you share that, Prabhu, with us?
I don't know.
I just shared, Prabhu. I just put it in the group.
Okay.
So she probably know all these standards, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
Usually I don't eat, so I don't know, what I cook. Because if you want to eat, you have to avoid eating these other things too.
Yes, Prabhu.
So you cooked a big feast, ekadasi.
Yeah, but it was very challenging. Harini, we started making the bases made of cauliflower. And pizza bases for cauliflower and potato. The previous day we prepared, and next day all chopping. Entire thing was on chopping of vegetables, fruits.
So they like the fish?
Yeah, Prabhu. It's, every time, a lot of prasadam was over. Almost 90% of it was over.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Prabhu, if I may just say, I have a son. So he had that pizza that Baldev Prabhu made, and I must say he was very happy that day. I think one of the things I was thinking, Ekadashi, what will I feed my son? So the pizza did the deal. So he's like, every Ekadashi I want to go. So thank you very much, Baldev Prabhu.
Yeah, that's what it is, it is called the Sunday feast. That's all. Everybody likes to enjoy the tongue, no? Yes?
Yes.
Prabhupada is, expert. He started this program.
This time, even for help, also a lot of volunteers came, and we commenced house programs also, Prabhu. Just last Saturday. Yeah, so we're doing house programs on Saturday and doing Sunday Love Feast on Sundays.
Very good. This is all a dish, This way you train them up to become more advanced,
Yes,
Eventually you bring them for the morning program.